Hey, welcome to What's in the Shop. This is Dustin, and today we're going to be following Terry doing a water heater service on a Suburban water heater. So Terry's removing the anode rod, and whoa, where did the anode rod go? There's a new anode rod. Why do I need a water heater service? The water heater service is so important. When we're removing the anode rod, we are not only just removing and replacing the anode rod, but we're using a tool that's called a flush wand. We're inserting that flush wand into the tank to rinse out all the debris and sediment that's accumulated at the bottom of the tank. I want you to think of that as like sand on a riverbed. The reason that it's so important to get that sediment out of the bottom of the tank is it will rust the tank and cause damage to it. These Suburban water heater tanks are a steel tank with a real thin porcelain coating. So it's very important not only when you're flushing out the tank, that after all the debris is on the ground, when it dries, you want to kind of check to make sure that there's no blue flakes in that material. Wow, look at all that flake. That's all rust and ash metal debris coming from the water heater itself. Here we go. Oh man, look at how much stuff's coming out of that water heater. So that's all settlement and stuff that's on the bottom of the water heater that's coming out. Not only is this stuff at the bottom of the tank, this stuff is mixing with the water that's coming into the tank, and it can not only, again, damage the bottom of the water heater tank, but it can damage your check valves that will prevent water from coming into the tank and water from going back out through the system. And keep in mind that, you're not going to see that white milky stuff. You're not going to see that when you're taking a shower, when you're washing dishes, when you're washing your hands. A lot of our customers live in them full time. And usually I'll see some customers come in and they'll have like a rash on their arms or like a redness or kind of like a little bit what looks like a rosacea. And I'll say, hey, how you doing today? Do you live in your RV full time? And they say, yeah. And I say, well, have you been flushing out your water heater tank and cleaning and sanitizing your lines? And they'll say, no. And then I'll ask them how long they've had that rash and redness for. And then I'll show them a video like this, or I'll show them some pictures. And they come back in a couple months later and say, hey, Dustin, thank you so much. I've been to the dermatologist, I don't know how many times, and we couldn't figure out why I kept getting these rashes. Well, it's because of all the stuff that's in the bottom of that water heater tank. So again, make sure you flush that tank. It's so important to do so. Oh man, look at all that blew out of there. Jeez. Now that's all pieces of that water heater. That's all, part of the chamber, the burner chamber. That's the canister that goes into the water heater itself, So if you need an anode rod or the flush wand, they will be linked in our YouTube description box below. So a couple of the things that we do during the water heater service is Terry's going to pull off the ECO and T-stat set. He's checking to make sure that there's no damage on it, that there's nothing that's loose or burnt. There's two of these actually in there. One's for the 110 volt side, one's for the 12 volt side. Now he's going to go ahead and remove the heating element cover as well. Same thing. He's just looking to see if there's anything burned or anything that looks loose. So if you're looking for parts on your water heater, you're going to want to provide us with the model and serial number. That's going to be located on the sticker here. You ask yourself, hey, what does it cost to replace a water heater? So these water heaters range from around $600 to $1,000 just for the water heater itself, plus the installation. How often should I have it serviced, right? So depending on if you're a full-timer, you may want to do it, 2-3 times a year. Usually we say do the service once a year at our shop. Again, if you're living it full time, you're going to want to pull that anode rod out at least every 6 months, check the condition of it, flush the bottom of the tank out, and then put the anode rod back in. Thank you so much for watching What's in the Shop. If you have any questions, please let us know.